This is KGW News at noon.
This variant is a cause for concern, not a cause for panic. We have the best vaccine in the world, the best medicines, the best scientists, and we're learning more every single day.
Today, that was President Biden addressing the nation earlier today about the new COVID variant, Omicron. Welcome to the news. Start with the president's message this morning. He urged unvaccinated Americans to get the vaccine and vaccinated Americans to get a booster shot. But President Biden also said he's not looking to issue any severe lockdowns because of the variant. The Omicron variant was first identified in South Africa. And Dr. Anthony Fauci said while there haven't been any cases of the variant here in the U.S. yet, it's inevitable that it will eventually make its way into the country.
The profile of the mutation strongly suggests that it's going to have an advantage in transmissibility and that it might evade immune protection that you would get, for example, from a monoclonal antibody or from the convalescent serum after a person's been infected, and possibly even against some of the vaccine-induced antibodies.
President Biden is restricting travel to the U.S. from South Africa, along with 7 other neighboring countries. The variant has already been detected in Canada and the U.K. NBC's Matt Bradley reports from London on the British government's response.
The government today is huddling, trying to decide what to do, facing calls from doctors and other professionals saying that they need to tighten restrictions. So far, the U.K. and Boris Johnson's government has been rejecting that. They really don't want to put too many new restrictions, but we have seen new measures adopted today. As of tomorrow, mask wearing will be obligatory once again in certain shops like grocery stores and on public transportation. That is a major step back from back in July when Freedom Day was declared, and a lot of the laws, almost all of the regulations, were lifted, and those regulations turned into recommendations. This rise of this new variant has renewed calls for spreading vaccines throughout the world because, of course, this was first discovered in South Africa. The African continent has only about a 7% vaccination rate compared with more than 40% on the global level. So now, this new development is really increasing calls for more vaccine equality throughout the world, and everyone's looking for the rich countries to see what they're planning to do about it. Matt Bradley, NBC News, London.
Back here locally, the Oregon Health Authority has launched a brand new program aimed at getting more people vaccinated. So it's offering pharmacies a $35 payment for each COVID vaccine they give out. That money can help pharmacies hire more employees. The state also has another program in place that will help pay for temporary pharmacists during the ongoing staffing shortage. That program, though, is only available to independent pharmacies. One of the biggest issues during the pandemic has been people struggling to pay their rent. Nearly 51,000 Oregon households did get approval for rental assistance, but less than half of those households have actually received their payment. KGW's Art Edwards has more on the backlog.
Any sources of income I had at that point just completely went away. And at the same time, here I am left with 3 kids that I need to take care of.
When the pandemic hit, Musonda Mwango found himself in a tough spot. When he found out Oregon got $289 million in federal funding to help people pay their rent, he thought that there was some hope.
I mean, for most of us that had kind of basically lost just about everything, any source of income that was there, it became one of those things where, like, man, thank you, God, we get a lifeline here.
Accessing the lifeline has not been easy. Mwango said that it was challenging to fill out the application for the Oregon Emergency Rental Assistance Program. He filled out his application in June and was approved in August. He still hasn't received any funds, and he doesn't know when they'll arrive.
This is an emergency. This is not a practice. This is real lives getting torn apart.
So far, more than 22,000 applications have been approved, and nearly $150 million has reached renters. The state is pausing the program for 6 weeks, starting December 1st. Officials hope that will give them the chance to work through the backlog and get renters like Mwango the money they've been promised.
The uncertainty of everything is just like, it's staring you in the face every waking moment.
He met with Governor Brown last week and hopes lawmakers will convene a special session to look for new ways to help renters struggling with financial hardships because of the pandemic. Art Edwards, KGW News.
So tomorrow is the last day of November. That means if you've fallen behind on rent, you have until midnight tomorrow to apply for this state emergency assistance. If you fall behind starting this Wednesday, December 1st, you should apply for local emergency rental programs like the ones they have in Multnomah, Washington, and Clackamas counties. Meanwhile, caught on camera, holiday decorations trashed in Salem. Neighbors say what started as vandalism is evolving into a more serious problem involving kids. Galen Etlin goes through this footage for us and shares how this has a huge impact on other local neighborhoods.
Problems started in South Salem about a week ago. 2 front lawn light displays toppled.
It was the first day we had Christmas decorations up.
Nathan Higginbotham lives at this home and didn't think much of this incident at first.
Group of kids just messing around.
But then, again this weekend, the vandals returned with a getaway car, this time breaking more in their path.
Pretty violating.
Crime in general has just gone up so much.
That's Cameron Maynor in Southeast Salem. Together, neighbors pieced together surveillance from Saturday night spanning the city, showing the group linked to a string of vandalism. Cameron says the group circled back to her house.
They really wanted the corgi.
Stealing this inflatable dog decoration.
My daughter literally just cried.
The group also hit another house and vehicles with dozens of eggs. And these were just the incidents caught on camera that night.
I know in the grand scheme of things, it's not like, say, a huge violent crime, but what would your message be to both the community and maybe the people who did this, why this is still an issue that's important to you?
They're just going to continue to keep doing this activity until they get caught.
It's just decorations. I can go buy more. But it means so much more to my kids. They're not going to understand the consequences until they're older, until they have their own families and what it means to their children.
These neighbors
brings down definitely that holiday spirit.
Hope for a resolution.
But they're not going to get the best of my Christmas.
And a holiday lesson of compassion learned. Galen Etlin, KGW News.
Well, campgrounds across Oregon are getting an upgrade thanks to a $50 million state fund. Half the money will come next May. The other half will come almost a year later in March of 2023. Some of the money will be spent on a backlog of maintenance. There's also a plan to expand summer camp programs, and there are new campsites coming to both Silver Falls and Shampooey State Parks.
We want to give Oregonians that live in the most populous part of the state an opportunity to experience what Oregon State Parks is all about and do that a little bit closer to home.
The list of things that need to be addressed includes new visitor centers, restrooms, parking lots, and other upgrades. All right, time to check in with Chris McGinnis for the first time here this afternoon. Chris, what are you taking a look at in your neck of the woods as we take this look outside at Pioneer Courthouse Square?
Well, you can see the wet bricks out there, but they're not getting any wetter. We are done with the rain, I think, for the month of November. That's easy to say on this 29th day, right? It has been a wet go of it, the rain tapering off for now, but you know what? Since September, check out the rainfall here across the Rose City and much of the Willamette Valley, enjoying a surplus of rain for the start of our fall season. About 6.42 inches if you include today's rainfall. That will probably go down as the November tally at PDX. And that's not a huge surprise, right? Because we typically see, the lion's share of our rain comes in October, November, December, and maybe if you throw January and February in there, you can see that that takes up the biggest slice of the pie, right? But in any event, a very wet November, and things are going to dry out now over the next couple of days, we think, right? Checking out radar over the last 3 hours. The rain that we had this morning is out to the east now, pushing very quickly through eastern Oregon. Baker City, Pendleton, you folks are just about done with the rain as well. And check this out. Above the cloud deck that is socked in the valley, the sky clearing. There's a live look from Timberline Lodge. It is clear right now up at 6,000 feet on Mount Hood. 56 last check at PDX. Big picture across the state. It's pretty warm west of the Cascades. Today's record high here in Portland is 58. Drew, I think we get there. That would be 3 record highs in a row. Your full 7-day forecast comes up in just a few minutes.
Yeah, crazy. A couple of 60s over the weekend, Chris. We talked about that this morning, which means ski and snowboard season on hold for the time being. When will it actually start on Mount Hood and on Mount Bachelor? Well, we're going to hear from resorts on both mountains coming up here in just a moment during the news at noon. But before we go to break here, a quick reminder about the KGW Great Toy Drive, which is underway. It's happening right now, and we could use your help. So here's an easy way to give. You can go to kgw.com/toy, click the donate cash button, and we will do the shopping for you. This is a great week to give, as a matter of fact, because Perfect Look Salons is matching toy for toy. When you give a toy, they give a toy. So we can double the amount of toys we received this week. We are able to collect toys in person again this year, so you can drop off new unwrapped toys at any IQ credit union, any Fred Meyer, or any local Toyota dealership.